Looks like south of the waterfall.
Yeah.
Or just north of Vanilla 1 would actually be a more apt description.
Yeah, by the lake, not a bad location, pretty centrally located. Quick
Okay.
access to Death Mountain once they get the ladder.
Quick access to a money-making game, which can be very valuable when you need to get up money when there's just one screen away from your start. You can up A and retry very quickly that way.
No, it's been a while since I've seen anyone actually doing that. It's always the first time.
Watch me practice. Now, money usually is in fine supply for C1R, 37 on the medium secret, because we don't necessarily have a lot to spend it on in this Pentaforce. Would you like to go through what that means?
Yes, Pentaforce. Well, for starters, Vicnin has found level 5. Normally, to gain access to level 9, you need to have all 8 pieces of the Triforce. For this tournament, you only need 5. So that is kind of a double-edged sword, because A, you only need to find 5 of the Triforce pieces. On the other hand, who knows how many items we'll have once you have those 5. If you're looking for the ladder, God forbid the bow or the silver arrows, you're still going to be doing some dungeon diving.
Money's so far good. Hints won't do you any good until you find the book under this flag set. Hey, now that's a great any road. I love that any road for no other reason than I know I don't need a bomb down there. Oh, that's terrible.
Gee. Did we see just 2 warp spots right next to each other?
Yes, one screen away. And
it's a
all
good
the
thing
warps
they have
in the south, so there's no any road to Death Mountain.
Which makes it all the more important that they start close to it.
Although it does clear out your exploration of that particular section of the map, which can be annoying to get to. There's bombs for sale. 29 rupees they'll cost you for a 4-pack.
Yeah,
Wouldn't argue with picking them up here, as Vicnin did, because they certainly open up more exploration.
Ooh, Cyberchow finds level 4. I believe that was Vanilla 2.
Region 4, as the case may be. So in this tournament, of course, vanilla shapes of the dungeons, they look exactly on the map like they do in normal game, but that doesn't mean you're navigating through them quite the same way.
Yep, we got the layouts, the shape of the dungeon's the same, but the rooms are not, and the starting room is not. And, quick Triforce. With a rather ineffectual gold guard there.
Gets our first Triforce of the match, and I guess that's what he was looking for, that and/or maybe keys, because he passed by the item room. Now, block clipping without a weapon it's a skill. There's people who can do it, I'm not one of them, and CC didn't attempt that. But he knew that going into the level, so that's an interesting decision.
And I believe we saw the small secret. I think the small secret was 17?
I think that's right, so that should work out, even if it's a low, large secret, to be a lot of money in this seed, having seen the medium and small roll up.
Well, doesn't really help that much if the large secret ends up being like 52 or some stupid thing like that. Cyberchild heading towards the coast. Might see what the coast item is, or not.
You know what? I think you're... Well, I thought with the save he was doing that to do exactly what I've talked about, and you could go to the money-making game. And that could have enabled you to buy some early items. 37, you don't have enough in the bank for a blue candle if you find that shop. He's got enough for bombs. There's our white sword. Vicnin the first to pick it up.
Our white sword?
Wood sword.
Okay then.
Sword. Sharp, pointy thing. You know, the kind of thing mages might wield.
On occasion. Ooh, and Vicnin finds level 6.
Didn't up A, going in with just the half a heart.
Ooh, this fighting the rabbits with half a heart. Ooh, well, as much damage as they normally do, even if you're full health, you're still being two-shot anyway.
Yeah, those are going to come down mostly to evasion, and that should be right in Vicnin's wheelhouse. Chad making a good point. CCX actually died on the screen that the wood sword was at. It might take a while to go back there, unfortunately.
Though I don't think he checked the vanilla gambling spot or the secret in that corner, so it might go back for that.
The question, though, is how long will it take? There's a lot of places you can explore, and hope that the wood sword might be in an easier to access spot. Turns in the letter already to find the medicine. I'm one who likes to do that late so that I'm not seeing the text every time I open the shop.
And those potions are a bit on the expensive side.
Vanilla gambling will just take your money. That's pretty vanilla.
And well, the gambling moved next door.
Tax breaks are better in that region of Hyrule.
Well, that's one way of going about things on Vicnin's side.
Going up there puts you out of range of the walking of these enemies, and that's a pretty nasty set to have to try and walk through a one-gap space.
Right.
Has enough money to pick up the bait, chooses not to. I can understand that play. Maybe you find that blue candle and spend the money on that instead.
Yeah, you saw the bait. I saw the really cheap shield, though I know nobody picks those up.
I'm not opposed to picking it up, although it's probably more of a late game surplus of money play.
Yeah, because if I have the means of getting a shield, I'm getting a dang shield. But that's just me.
Hey, I am often a fan of saying, get the tool that you need. Don't worry about how somebody else plays the game. If the shield helps you complete these seeds, do it. Get it. Good question in chat. Why are all the NPCs saying papers, please? It's because we can't understand what any of them are saying until we get the book. So until then, we just see one message for all NPCs, whether they be taking our money, whether it be a bonus choose any, or whether it be a hint room. They'll all say papers, please, unless they're until we have the book.
That way, and that's when we finally learn how to speak octogenarianese. Don't know why I've started referring to it as that, but I think it's funny.
More like Last Crusades. It's a line from Indiana Jones' Last Crusade.
I hadn't seen that one.
It's Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. How have you not seen it? 92 on The Large Secret, by the way.
Not the worst thing.
Alright, so level 8 located for CC, but again, without that weapon, it can be a little bit hard to block clip. You still may explore a couple rooms to see if you get a sideways staircase or something. So, with the secrets the way they are, we really should see an abundance of money in this seed. And if you don't have the book to buy hints with, then even more so. The bombs, however, are expensive enough they might drain a lot of resources.
Especially if a lot of the enemies we're seeing are like Lionels, and like if we're not seeing much for blue moblins, and finding bombs relatively safely might be a problem.
Right now, the story is how long is it going to take CC to get back to the northeast? Unless he somehow finds the Armos item very useful for combat purposes, it's going to be a slog trying to get through this overworld or any dungeons without a weapon. It's very near the Vanilla Blue Ring shop, which is a potential spot for the Armos item, so it does make a lot of sense to go ahead and check that.
And we found level 3 at level 3.
Oh my! That is exactly what CC needed to find. It was the white sword for the Armos item, and CC's got it at the 10-minute mark.
Wow.
That's gonna open up a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if CC dives right back into a dungeon that he knows the location of.
Maybe 4, since they know where the item is already.
I think that'd be a very good choice. I also think going back to 8 would be a good choice since you know 2 items there. Here's another subtlety this could do as CC... Well, actually, CC can't get to it from this direction. But if CC goes back to the northeast where that wood sword cave is, he can now pick up the blue candle.
Yep.
Which means not sacrificing the extra health.
And Vicnin just found the white sword. And oh my, that is not a friendly area. And Cyberchild picking up a heart container in the Takeny cave.
You know, maybe CC is already on the same wavelength as me and thinking, hey, that wood sword cave is out there and I can get a candle without sacrificing this heart. Because often runners will take the blue candle because it opens up more exploration, so you take it the first opportunity you can do it. The only unfortunate part is it's pretty far removed from where CC is. There's our arrows for sale at Vanilla level 5, also the blue ring. It's a potential target. But you certainly want to note where an arrow shop is.
And seeing the wheels turning is like, okay, do I buy the arrow now or do I save up for the blue ring?
I don't know, my first purchase priority is always going to be the blue candle until I have reason to do otherwise.
True enough.
The chat pointing out that the randomizer was kind to the blue ring price. It rolled down. It's still the most expensive item in the game, but is at a discount.
Cyberchild goes back into 5.
Well, how deep will he go in this dungeon?
Not very far, it seems. Maybe hesitant to use up the 1 key.
I don't think you want to spend your only key in 5. If I'm going to spend it, I want it to be in a shorter dungeon. Here we're going to see the item in 4. Oh my, it's the silvers!
Oh, wow.
CC was in that room. He's got the Triforce out of 4. Having the Triforce out of 4 might be a bad break at this point. And for Vicnin, it'll be Triforce number 1 coming out of level 4.
So a question in chat. So what glitches do you need to learn to be competitive in this format? Probably the only ones that come to mind for me would be the block clipping and the screen wrapping. Do you have anything to contribute to that?
Block clipping is far and away number 1. Not a glitch, but a technique. Forcing bomb counts is extraordinarily useful. I'd say that's probably number 2. And I'd put screen wrapping as number 3. What could work in CC's favor is he knows that it's a quick check for the silvers in 4, and he doesn't need to have silvers per se until going into level 9. We know we need the silver arrows, we know we need the bow, and we know we need the sword to be able to complete the game. Almost always we need the ladder as well. So those are our big 3 items that we must find.
Did you catch
Ladder,
what that coast item was? It went so fast, I didn't see it.
Sorry, what was the question?
Did you see what the coast item was? It went so fast, I missed it.
No, I didn't, and it blended in, so I'm thinking it was the wood boomerang.
No,
but the chat says it's a heart container.
Heart container. All right.
Well, sometimes people see things faster than I do.
Well, to be fair, I was looking at Cyber Chow's side of things at the time.
It was a quick turnaround. He saw it and left. Which, all he was going for was the knowledge when you don't have the ladder yet.
And he happened to be in the area, and meanwhile, Vicnin finds level 7 on the coast.
And a ruby boss. Given a key. That's a very nice find. 7, one of the larger dungeons, so it's not nice for spending a lot of time in. But if you pick up things quick, it can be very useful. And, well, that gave him a glimpse of the room, that there was no open path. Could try bombing, or could just leave. It looks like bombing's gonna be the choice.
Oh, Vicnin's only got 1 bomb.
Well, this is more of a shapes philosophy than vanilla, but my policy is bomb where there's the most level. So in that case, down, I think, was the right choice. There's more dungeons to the south of you than to the left of you.
And unfortunately, Cyber Chow was on their way back to 4, but got sniped by a Lionel going up the stairs.
And again, just because the overall level of the dungeon is the same, doesn't mean the actual navigation through it is going to be the same at all. A little bit more money for CC. Still for want of something really good to spend it on. Or perhaps more money to spend on, say, a blue ring. Interesting to see what he does if he gets another medium secret. Back in this northeast area, so he's actually very near the wood sword cave, which he's not been into. If he gets back there, he's going to have his candle, which opens up more exploration of the world. Chad asks where the white sword item was. It was the vanilla blue ring Armos. All you had to do was move the Armos, and there it was on the ground. Vicnin's still trying to make something happen in this 7.
Almost went for a bit of gambling, but decided against it.
As chat points out, no sighting yet of the actual white sword item, the one that will require some amount of hearts to get. That is still on the overworld somewhere. There's the red ring in 7!
Oh, wow. When you still only got 3 hearts, that is a lovely find. And Cyber Child buying a shield. Given all these Lionels, yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I like that purchase there.
This overworld has been obnoxious. It's been blocking in every direction. If this helps you explore, it's worth the investment. Finds level 6. I also basically consider this an unlimited money seed with that money-making game by start. Because literally, you're an up A away from having all your money back if you get a bad run. And that red ring gives you courage. Vicnin showing a lot of courage taking on Manhandla.
Nope, Manhandla wins.
Yeah, what's unfortunate about that, though, is the cost in bombs. It's interesting that Vicnin is putting this time into level 7. You only need the Triforce, so theoretically a little easier to explore for just that than the item. There, CC's got his blue candle. That was a screen he died on earlier. You can see why with all those Lionels and no room to maneuver.
Especially since it came in from the south on the first trip.
Hint room does us no good. Again, all hints locked behind the book. Goma is jerk.
Yeah. It's just a matter of is the garden the Triforce?
This is an interesting decision by Vicnin to continue to explore this 7.
Well, if nothing else, we haven't seen 1 or 2.
We have seen 8, though. I know CC found it, I'm not sure about Vicnin. Oh, CC's back for the silvers. He doesn't know it yet, but he'll be well pleased with this decision if he gets in there. We wondered how long he might take to come back here.
Well, he tried to get back in earlier, he just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, but now he's armed with that magic shield and feels a little bit more confident in his progress.
Gorias can be a pain as well.
It is always a challenging thing to chase down enemies in this game. You have to be very careful about it. Link's advantage in combat is usually when the enemies are coming to you instead of you going to them.
And Vicnin is leaving 7.
Right, so it was about another 3 minutes of time invested after finding the red ring before he left. He's out of bombs, so trying to explore a dungeon as large as 7 without bombs is probably not going to work. Vicnin still has no blue candles, so can't check these forest locations either.
So I guess does Cyberchow not do or know the block clip?
I've certainly seen it plenty of times. What I wonder is if perhaps the sprite might throw you off. Because the look can be different with these sprites. For block clipping, I have a visual cue that I use, and if you gave me a different sprite to do it on, I'm not sure I could.
As someone who's never actually done the block clip, I really wouldn't know either way.
I will spot it based on Link's ears, of all things. The line that's to the south of a block clip, which is the only direction I can clip from, if the line is in the right spot on Link's ears, you're in the right position to clip, and that works for me a very good rate of the time. It just doesn't work for reverse clipping.
Well, there's our first candle shop. Not that it matters. Well, I guess it could still matter for well, no. You needed the candle to get to that. Never mind.
Yeah, have a candle to get the candle. Thanks, game.
And there's another one.
Theoretically, the red candle's still out there.
Yeah, but how mean would it be if all the candle shops were candle blocked?
I'm not sure if the game logic allows for that. If it does, it would only be when you have the bonus candles enabled.
Which they are.
Yeah. But Fred pretty good about programming us away from soft locks. He's done a great job of that over time.
And 5 is not being nice for Vicnin. He's deciding to search elsewhere.
I think right now CC has actually seen more of the world than Vicnin is, and Vicnin's now trying to catch up on that exploration. And I say that because if Vicnin knew where level 8 was, certainly you'd dig that out with the white sword and try and get one of your 2 items there. Well, you try to get both items, but one of the 2 you need. Level 3 now is a great candidate for exploration, but being out of keys could be a pain.
Oh, yes. Especially since you're pretty much key blocked out of 3 at the moment anyway.
CC taking a moment, maybe updating the map, figuring out where he needs to route to next.
Preferably away from all these door repair charges.
And this is unfortunate for Vic. He's had to walk by a lot of screens he can't check without that candle.
But we've got our first visit to the graveyard.
And a large secret for CC. There's the power bracelet. It's our white sword item. And CC's got enough with the 4 hearts.
Nice.
Jeff pointing out you can get a candle from the Choose Any, and we did talk about that. Now Vicnin is going to purchase one. Vicnin actually found, or no, that was CC found the bonus cave and still took the heart, knowing that he had a candle at the wood sword location still out there.
And finding another one at the vanilla warp spot there. Oh, this is a lovely find for Vicnin. Level 1, 2 items. What are we gonna get today?
I think that was still candle blocked though, because the power bracelet was candle locked. Level 1 is big, 2 items available.
And it's the magical boomerang. No thanks.
A lot of bomb purchases between these 2 runners, and that's where it really matters that they rolled up in price. Jake Hopper, who's more familiar with the randomizer logic, has said that a candle is always available in a shop that's either open or bombable. So there is always one available, period. And that's what I thought. I didn't think the game would ever truly block you out of that. It may not be common, but...
Yeah, but when that one shop is, say, deep in Death Mountain, that's not really... not as helpful.
Nobody ever said they were all going to be easy seeds.
Well, yeah, of course.
Sometimes the game just has to make you work for it. So, by the way, we know Zelda's not in her room for all the good that does us.
Yeah, I've mentioned on occasion that if a randomizer is not being trolly, it's not doing its job properly.
We found the staircase item in 1 as the magic boomerang, still looking for the floor drop item.
Oh god, bombs as a floor drop, not what we were looking for, but highly appreciated.
Speaking of red candle.
Just after Vicnin had bought one, he finds a better one for free.
Yeah, about 3 minutes difference. But it does mean you can get the Triforce and get out of here. That'll be second Triforce for Vicnin in the first 30 minutes. CC just has the 1. He actually picked up the first one at 3 minutes in at a level 4. Still looking to get his second. Already found the Armos item, so that's not what Vicnin is looking for, just looking at what's on the overworld. He's not found the white sword item yet.
think that was back in the forest, wasn't it?
Yeah. But when you don't know, you don't know, and you're still going to explore the open locations. One of them might have a dungeon.
So Vicnin just found a hint spot, not that it's helping us right now.
And why is that? I'll let you answer this time.
Unfortunately, all these people in caves are speaking some strange language that we can't understand. So we need the book to understand what they're saying. That applies to shop owners, the hint shops, everything. So everybody in Hyrule is going to be desperate from some form of parchment until we actually find one.
CC looking through this level 3, one of the shorter dungeons, so it's worth exploring because you're not going to have that many rooms to get through. Also, the enemy set seems pretty nice, but no keys can make life a bit more challenging.
Vicnin's found level 2 in Death Mountain.
Killing off this Gleeok, even though it's an open room, because in level 2 we're looking for a floor drop.
I thought I saw one, but maybe that was for boss. And that is the main part of the Gleeok just kind of vanished when Cyberchild picked up the Triforce. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was a Triforce on the floor, so you didn't have to actually beat him to get it. CC took advantage to get that and get out. Chat reacting to CC going back to 4 to get the silver arrows, which he knew where it was and he knew it was close. There's plenty of items that could be helpful at this point, so... He tried once, didn't work, and then went back a second time, and that time did the trick once he got the large shield.
And if nothing else, that provides peace of mind knowing that 4 is completely done.
That was a nice short level in this case. Now CC looking for the item in 3. I'm sorry, the heart container in 3, looking for the item.
And Vicnin finally gets a heart container.
Floor drop in 2. The good news is that 2 is short. The bad news is when you're looking for a floor drop item, you have to kill out a lot of enemies. However, when there's a key on the floor, or otherwise an item like a rupee, bombs, etc., you know you don't have to actually... You know that cannot be the item drop room.
But if the door doesn't open otherwise, you still have to do it.
This is true. But for example, when CC finds the map there, he knows that's not the item room in 3. And there's our book.
There's our book. The papers have been found. They can now that people can actually say other things now.
Insert your favorite lines from The Last Crusade now.
Now you're just poking fun at me, aren't you?
No, I was just deciding how bad of a joke I wanted to make because I had a good horrible joke come to mind, but I care not to repeat it online.
Fair enough.
On it. Vicnin isn't exactly the place that CC never wants to be, with the pancakes will devour the magic shield.
Not immediately, but yeah, if you don't have like magical sword or hadn't already damaged themselves, oh boy.
Have to leave Bomb behind to find the ladder block.
Oh dear! Oh wow, that's just cruel and unusual.
Well, how many levels do we know the item out of now? I want to
It's-
just go through an item recap. Now's a good time.
one was I think it was red candle and oh geez,
Magic Boomerang.
magic boomerang. Got 2 had the book. 3 I believe is still unknown. 4 was the silver arrows. Don't think we had found any of the others yet.
Well, we found that the white sword was the Armos item. And
Ghost
the
item was a
power
heart
bracelet was the
container.
white sword item.
I guess I was focusing more on the dungeons.
Yeah.
All right, red ring in 7. I was trying to remember which dungeon Vicnin found that out.
Both our runners have the candle now. It was a little late in coming for them for differing reasons. Oh, CC
That's
finds the
unfortunate.
large secret when it doesn't do a lot of good. That's a lot of money lost.
You can
Let's
afford
give
the
him enough
blue
now for
ring
the
now.
blue
It's just
ring.
no matter whether it goes out of his way to get it.
It's near start. So if he up A's, it wouldn't take long to get back to it. Which makes me wonder if that's not exactly what he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's it. He's in that direction.
And we saw CC pick up the magic shield, so we definitely know he's willing to purchase defensive support items. I also think it makes a lot more sense in these flags where we are less likely to get the red ring than we would in a normal playthrough.
So, who has been teaching the Octoroks martial arts?
Well, not Ganon, he only knows how to do pro wrestling. He must have called in an outside consultant.
So, I believe we've seen all the dungeons now. We have not seen where the magical sword is.
I think we've also now seen all of the bonus caves between the two runners.
Yes, I believe so as well.
CC's still checking the power bracelet locations. Looks like the rare item might indeed be the blue ring. We've only seen it in the one shop. Yeah, that little shield will be insufficient against the fireballs. And CC's got the blue ring.
Yep.
So now the defense doubles.
And the Stalfos has been bleached in the sun.
Well, more thematically appropriate now. Now, been a little while since we've seen a Triforce. It's been 10 minutes for Vicnin, and it's been 8 minutes for CC. Yeah, play your race, but the longer you go between Triforces, it starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable. Power Bracelet picked up for Vicnin.
Yep. I believe there's gonna be another bonus cave right here. Yes.
And I do believe that's Vicnin's last. We talked about not seeing the magic sword yet. We normally don't pick it up with the short format. However, this has been pretty generous on the hearts so far. If we get a couple more out of dungeons, mags will be in play.
Cyberchow heading back into 3. Really wants to get that item out of there.
Well, again, it's a short dungeon, so you know you don't have that many rooms to get through.
Yeah,
Well,
but
the Wiz
Cyber
Robes
Chalice
is
has
not a
died
bad
numerous
ending to
times
that.
in here already.
CC found 8. I don't know how much time I don't think he spent a lot of time trying to dig it out.
I don't believe so either. I know he at least got past the first, found at least one of this one passage staircase.
Oh, now this starts to make sense. CC's thinking this is the item room, and having a blue ring to take on all those Wiz Ropes makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And what if this is the room?
Thing is, probably
So
the
grouped up, a bomb would be nice there.
yeah, it's, which would be a better item to find here, the ladder or the bow? Because if it's either,
whoa.
if it's either, and I would think if it's either one, Vicnin's gonna have to go through this exact same room.
He is, but I think ladder forces you there sooner. I think if you're missing bow, you're going to be more likely to gamble on 9, on the bow being there. Ladder is more likely to keep you out of 9. I say that only because you're more likely to have blocks. Like we know one of the Triforces is blocked behind the ladder.
Right.
CC wasn't able to tank that room. He had the bombs. I guess wants to save them for now. He's gonna head towards Death Mountain. The other hand, those Wiz Robes were not giving you much room to breathe. Do we have an item here?
We had already seen one staircase, unless this was where the other one spat you out. I think it might have.
Maybe. Looking back and forth, I don't see every room. Mistakes happen. Dodongo dwells on Death Mountain. Thanks, game. But at least we didn't pay for that hint.
Yep, and that would have been helpful for Cyberchow. We hadn't found 2 yet.
That's where that red candle shows its value. Just being an unlimited weapon can pay dividends.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Going for the reverse block clip here. Got it. And got the wand.
Nice, unlimited, white sword strength ranged weapon. And Cyberchow's found the hint room and can't afford any of it.
But it doesn't matter without the book anyways. Vicnin has the book, CC does not.
Ah, yes, right.
Now CC's got level 1. Goma being Goma, that is to say, rude.
Victor able to block clip away through there, and finds another one. But Cyberchow picking up the magical boomerang.
It's nice to have a boomerang. It can let, especially when you don't have the ladder, sometimes the boomerang is the difference between picking up, say, a bomb drop, or a fairy, or a heart that you couldn't otherwise get to.
Wolflink, our tracker, mentioned in chat the hint that Vicnin saw partial of and decided to nope out of. Could that have been a hint to 9?
I'm sorry, I didn't see it while I was seeing if CC was going to take the boomerang.
It was like in the forest or some such. Because we hadn't even actually seen 9 yet on either side.
I don't think we have that many places left to look, though.
We found the Triforce for 8.
That room a little rough. A little bit. Gonna have to battle some Darknets to get back, but you see the wand is firing off. That's because he's trying to dual wield the wand and the sword for more damage.
Very nice.
And that appears to be enough to one-shot the red Darknuts, so that's why he does that.
I've seen that trick mostly. It seems like that trick is mostly used against Patras, but I guess other things can work for that as well.
Yeah, it's usually a question of how much HP the enemy has. If it's high enough to warrant the extra damage. Triforce in 8 for Vicnin, and we might be bow blocked from the other item. Goma was in what looked like a possible item room. Now Cece's got the red candle.
I think that was a large secret thoroughly wasted on Vicnin's side.
Well, will he decide? Well, he won't decide to pick up blue ring. He's got the red. If he finds bait and arrows, those would certainly be purchasable items. The bomb upgrades would be a welcome sight if you find them. He takes a large potion or the red potion, because he's got plenty of money to spend. Triforce had a 1 for CCX.
I don't think he never got the book.
We'll go back in, because if you know you're missing an item, unless he thinks it's blocked behind something. That was the floor drop item, so maybe something scared him away from that in 1. You don't like to leave an item behind in 1.
The floor drop item in 1 was the red candle.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought I have the wrong level for book. Do I?
Unless was book in 1 or 2? Oh, book was in 2. Yeah. Okay.
It was Magic Boomerang, which he got, and Red Candle. He got both items.
Okay, yeah, he got both. Yeah, where's my mind at? Vicnin buying a key.
When you don't have any, it's hard to pass up, because those can certainly be a pain. I did a practice seed this week where I don't think it was possible to complete the seed without purchasing keys.
Oh, wow.
There may have been one possible bomb path that could have netted us a surplus of keys, but otherwise I had to buy 2 to be able to complete it. But especially when you're at 0, just the difference in having 1 is enormous. Cece's all out of money. Vicnin finds the arrows, but not enough money to spend on them now.
Well, also has the silvers already, so.
Oh, fair enough. So the bait would be the only real purchase now for Vicnin. Cece's in 2.
Yep. And then leaves 2. I try to open the door. Yep, there we go.
See, if I paid more attention to the fine tracking up late, updates of the great Wolflink, who's doing such a tremendous job for us today, I wouldn't be so confused. Thanks, Wolflink. Also, thank you, Speed Gaming, for hosting us today. Cyclone got us set up. Always greatly appreciated. And thanks for giving me company today, Melee.
Yep, no problem.
And of course, thank you to our runners for putting on the show. Oh, there's a hint for the power bracelet. Thanks, game. The hint for the power bracelet was power bracelet locked. I just want to appreciate that.
Say what?
The hint for the power bracelet was power bracelet locked.
Oh god, really? Yeah. Cyberchow finding the mugger and not really liking it.
That was the path to the Triforce that Cece noped out of instead of sacrificing the bomb. However, we know it's ladder blocked anyways, so not a bad thing for Cece right now. He still might end up paying that bomb.
And then getting the unfortunate news.
Is this our item in 6? No, it's the compass.
And seeing that where the that is where the Triforce is, that may end up prompting Cyberchow to pay that bomb.
On the other hand, you know you only need 5 Triforces. You might decide, well, there's our bait block.
Yep.
When you need 5 Triforces, you might nope out a 1 and figure I'll get it somewhere else. Because we have seen bombs be at a premium in this one.
We have not seen the item out of 6 yet.
Yeah, and we now know that we may be bait blocked from it. Which is funny because Pan was asking if there have been any blocks so far, and then started laughing because we found a possible one.
Not to mention the one we've already, the ladder block it too.
Yeah. Although asterisks on that one because we know we can beat the game without that.
I guess as long as we're not blocked from 4 of them, we should be fine.
Yeah.
Well, we see that the bait block is kind of useless, though.
Hey, now that we've got the right link for Wolflink, show him some love, folks. Trackers don't get a lot of love. And there's the Triforce in 6.
Vicnin just needs 1 more.
1 more, but you still need the bow, and you very possibly still need the ladder.
It's just a matter of how far you're willing to go, how many dungeons are you willing to dig, and Cyberchow picks up the book.
Okay, does he pay the toll to go for this Triforce?
Looks like he's about to.
Chad asks if 9 has been found. Vicnin did find it in the forest. CC, I don't believe, has seen it yet. And there's the toll. This is gonna feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need a moment to look at that too.
So I'm presuming that it's not possible to do the block clip across the across lava.
Wouldn't be a block clip. You'd need a ladder clip, which it's only one gap, so you wouldn't clip.
I guess I would think if it was something that could be done, we would have seen it long ago.
Yeah. If for example it's the tea room and it's more than the ladder away, you can do a ladder clip.
Yeah,
to get
I've
across.
seen the ladder clips. All these fancy techniques are above me.
So Vicnin's still searching for the Triforce, and that bait block looms large.
Oh, now he's been through the passage staircase. Ended up on the back end of the bait block. So that's not that the bait block doesn't actually block anything.
Is it immediately on the other side, or are there rooms in between? Okay. Fair enough. So bait not required in this seed.
No.
Now Vicnin has nothing to buy with his money. Except more bombs.
Bait could serve as a handy shortcut, but that's probably not worth the time to go out and buy the thing.
No, I think when you leave 6, you're done unless you find out that Bo is elsewhere. So depending on what happens here in level 6, we're looking at the interesting position of potentially having enough Triforces for 9 without the bow and without the ladder. If you're missing 1, the gamble in 9 makes a lot of sense. Do you dare when you're missing 2?
Zol by the lake. That's gotta be the magical sword hint. Because the white sword item was in the forest.
Yeah, that would have been meet the old woman at the grave. Yeah, if it's the white sword item, it tells you the item. That was the power bracelet hint was the white sword hint.
Yeah. But we've seen the hint now for the magical sword. It's a matter of how useful that hint ends up actually being. Vicnin is 1 heart away from potentially getting it.
And now back into level 5, where he does not have the Triforce out of yet. Has a key that he may not have had earlier. Though I didn't see a key door, unless there was one above there. Sometimes you just know you left a dungeon because it was blocked, but you forget what the block was.
It looks like he's gonna head back to 3.
I think that was the case, is he just knew he was blocked and he thought perhaps it was the key block, so he goes back with a key. This is going to put him back in 3.
Yeah, the key block was in 3.
And again, Zelda not in her room today. I'd be more surprised if she was in her room. Now Cece's found 9. Oh my, this room really camouflages that orange rope. I forgot he was in there.
Considering that as far as damage goes, that's one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, yeah, that's... having that enemy be camouflaged can be really hazardous.
That is going to be enough hearts that there is a potential magical sword on the table now for Vicnin.
Yep, chance.
I don't know if it's enough of a chance you go out of your way to check it. But if it's convenient, you might take a look. Vicnin used up his last key, but he finds out he can get to the Triforce, and that'll be good enough for him to have access to 9. No bow. No ladder. I still think the play is to go to 9.
Vicnin's heading back into 3. Dungeon's not that big, but it's goodness knows it gave Cyberchow a lot of grief. And I don't believe he got the item out of here, did he?
Well, you wouldn't go back in otherwise. He got the heart container and he got the Triforce.
No, I'm talking about Cyberchow didn't get the item out of 3, right?
Don't think he did. I think he took the Triforce and left.
No, he explored 3 quite a bit and ended up dying quite a bit.
Yeah, he took the Triforce out at 31 minutes. He had gotten the Power Bracelet 5 minutes before that, which was the White Sword item, and he purchased the Blue Ring after that, both of which were nowhere near here. For Vicnin, the problem is not having keys to explore, but so far he's continued to find rooms to go to. That couldn't give you an item, but it could have potentially dropped a key.
Yeah, I remember Cyberchow was that one room with the potential item room that had, 6 blue Wizros in it. He never was able to clear.
Yeah, he came back after he had purchased the Blue Ring, but still they kept swarming him right at the door and he couldn't find a way to get going. Time will CC and X invest in level 7. How much will Vicnin invest in levels before going to 9? Now has enough Triforces to enter. As the silver arrows, we know we need the bow. Probably need the ladder.
Yeah, I guess it's not technically required. It's just required like 99% of the time, it seems.
I think Vicnin right now is just really hoping that one of these rooms is going to drop another key. We've been hurting for them in this seed. He even went so far as to purchase one to be able to continue his exploration. This is the room.
Yep.
Cece was here, never got past all these whiz ropes. Vicnin has a lot more hearts. He's got the red ring instead of the blue, and I think Cece only had like 6 max hearts at the time. So this is a much different scenario. And you can see where Vicnin just went out and blitzed those whiz ropes. Level 3 has the ladder.
There's the ladder. Okay. So, only one item left that's really relevant.
We know that we need the bow. We don't know where it is. Does Vicnin go for a hint shot? Does Vicnin go straight to 9? And will Cece look back at that room with regret? It's still possible ladder is not required. The only thing we've seen it be required for is a heart container on the coast and the Triforce in level 2.
And Victin's stopping by again in level 5.
Well, he was ladder blocked here. Maybe he wants to investigate a couple rooms and pick up a free key. If he came back here just for this key, I will tip my hat to that play.
And if nothing else, this is on the way to 9. He's not really going out of his way to stop here. Hey, if he ends up with more keys afterwards, at the very least, it could easily be worth the effort.
Whatever his goal is here, I don't think you spend a key. I think you just collect whatever's available. If that gets you the item, fantastic. If not, okay, the place to go to 9. He gets another heart. He's that much more likely to get Magic Sword if he tries for it.
Mm-hmm.
He could also get the Coast Heart and be even more likely.
Oh, yes. We haven't actually found where the magical sword is, but we know that Vicnin knows the general region of it.
I thought we did see it.
Nah,
We're not map tracking,
where exactly
but
it was. We saw the hint that it was in the that was by the lake, I believe.
I thought we'd seen Maxwell before that, actually.
If it was, I missed it. 12
That's not to
would
say
be
both
6
hunters did.
12 hearts would be 60%.
Mike's bombs. And still able to continue moving in this 5 without spending keys. He's netted 2 out of here so far. Tremendous rates with the red candle. Boy, just think if that had been the bow hint. How big would this play have been then?
Is it possible for the hint to be referring to 9 outside of 9? It would be like, bow is in the entrance to death or something like that.
I don't think it could do that.
Okay. Because that would be nice to know at the very least.
Boy, Vicnin's now got 4 keys. This is going to be a fascinating experiment, I think, just to see how many keys he uses in 9. There was another one on the floor!
There's another one! Holy cow.
What a play coming to this 5 has been, regardless of finding the item. He got another heart container. He got 5 keys out of this dungeon because he had the ladder.
Yeah, now apparently he's willing to start spending at least a couple now.
I know I said I wouldn't spend one, but that's back when we were talking about 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just the Triforce. Who needs that?
Well,
If you're going to nope out of the dungeon, it would have been a good way to go.
And get a full health refill on top of it.
Yeah.
And something about Manhandla.
Threatens in the Deadwoods. I think there was a contemplation of up-Aing there.
That maybe it was a potential item hint, but we already know what that is.
CC trying to get through these dark nuts. He's being patient, trying not to take a death here. When you leave the room, it will save your progress in that room as long as you don't leave the dungeon, so only the 2 dark nuts remain. The others will not respawn. CC, you're too high for the block clip. Gotta be lower. He's certainly aware of it. He's been around long enough, but that doesn't mean you've necessarily practiced a lot of the execution for it.
Vicnin's still diving in 5.
He's got that Stalpo sprite instead of Link's sprite, which is very different.
The item move is right there this whole time. And it's the raft.
Here's the other thing that does. If the silvers are not in 9, that's... Not silvers, the bow is not in 9. That really narrows down the options because you're clear of 5.
Mm-hmm. And when the The clue said by the lake. Would that include in the lake?
And Cece's gonna get the red ring.
And they'd be very thankful for it.
Cece picked up the blue ring back at 38 minutes in, so he's made a lot of ground with just the blue ring. The difference being Vicnin had the red ring back at 19 minutes, so that's been a definite advantage since.
And Vicnin heading into 9, not even bothering to look for where the magical sword is.
That's very understandable. We know the bow is needed. We do not know if the ladder is needed, although Vicnin does have it. And now a hint as to where Ganon is. Worth noting that the randomizer is designed to not force you to have to play with glitches, such as the block clip. That's not to say there isn't an advantage to doing it, just that it's not required.
There's our first of, 6 passage staircases?
Too many for me. I run out of fingers. Runners will take a couple different approaches to exploring these, but when you have to find an item, you basically want to at least dip your head into every staircase to see if that's the item. 2 of them here in 9. One could be the bow. Major items are allowed to be in 9 under these rules.
And honestly, the enemy set has been pretty kind so far.
It also wouldn't hurt to find Zelda's room. But we've not as of yet. It'll be a shutter door that does not open. After defeating the enemies, we could also potentially find the compass or a hint to Zelda's room. There's no hint to the bow. The hint would be for the silver arrows and say that they lie elsewhere, but we already know that.
Yep.
There's the magic key.
There's some peace of mind right there. One less thing you have to worry about. But it's still not what we're looking for.
It always seems to feel like that. Whenever you're at the most keys you've had for the game, that's when you find the magic key. Vicnin found 5 keys going into level 5 and just diving it out. He spent a couple, but that fueled his exploration of 9. Now there are no key concerns for the rest of this seed. Oh, the clock just makes Wizard's room so much nicer. Did that door not open? It did open, okay. We just paused too soon.
Yeah, I heard the door noise. It just... Okay, so we are seeing blue whiz robes, but not in large quantities.
More Wizardrobes, because of course.
But these Wizardrobes are nice because they in a wide open room like this, they're easily avoidable, and they can drop bombs just like that.
Bombs and hearts.
And of course, the room provides even more.
Well, that one I would have left because you were already max anyways.
Yeah.
And it'll still be there later, so it's guaranteed bombs in 8.
And the not so subtle reminder that we had to spend one for no game whatsoever.
Yeah, we spent one to find out there was a ladder block in 2 for the Triforce. Both of our runners falling to that, unfortunately. That's a good place for the Wizrobe to be. It was a good place for the Wizrobe to be. That worked out fine.
And just going back and forth, not doing anyone any harm.
CC's in level 8. He found that early, didn't dig it very much, so now a chance to look for those 2 items. I don't think Vicnin got both items, if I recall right. I think he only got one. If that. Let's see, Wand would have been in level 8. Yeah, he did not get both items out of 8. Which, what if that's the bow? This could be what the race comes down to. If the bow's in 9, advantage Vicnin. If it's in 8, huge advantage for CC. Good point by Wolf Lincoln. I forgot about that. It was actually the Goma seemed to be guarding the other item in 8. Unless there was another room we did not see.
If nothing else, this particular enemy set with the Zals and the ropes, you're going to be getting a lot of money. So if you ever felt the need to maybe go out and get a potion or something, you'll definitely have the means to do so, or bombs for that matter.
Triforce out of 8 for Cybercho. He needs one more to have access to 9. He's got the silver arrows, still needs the bow. Ladder? Question mark? We haven't really seen a lot of ladder required in 9.
We have seen at least one ladder clip.
That's true, but I think there was also another path, so... Based on what we're seeing, I'm not sure it's required in 9, just always going to be useful if you have it. Every time you see a staircase, you're wondering, is this the one? But he walks away from that one. It is the bow!
Yep, there it is. Oh, it's 9.
Everything has worked out in the end for Vicnin now. He's got the hint for Ganon. Didn't find the room, I don't think.
Nope. Haven't heard the roar as of yet.
But we know what quadrant, and then we have no idea yet where Zelda is in this dungeon. And if Vicnin hadn't dug 5 to get those keys, I think he would have had to have left 9 to get more keys. Because I don't think he would have gotten to the any key without it. Got to find the path to Ganon. Compass wouldn't be a bad thing either.
So, by process of elimination, that would mean the second item out of 8 would have to be the recorder then?
Would Boomerang still on the table?
Say what?
Would Boomerang still be on the table? We saw the magic.
Yes. So there was the item in 6 and one of the items in 8. Those are the 2 items there for those, yeah. What?
This has been an interesting seed on the key item.
It's in the right quadrant. We found Ganon.
Here we go. Looks like a good room. If you speedrun Z1, this is one skill that absolutely translates your ability to fight Ganon. Trying to pick him up in the stun lock. A little late with the second stab. Its white sword doesn't take as many hits. Little trouble picking Ganon up. Is that it? There it is. Down goes Ganon.
At 1 hour and 20. But we're not done yet.
Still gotta find Hyrule's reigning hide-and-seek champion. And that's it! Or no,
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, I'm reacting too soon.
Oh, right.
There were no enemies in the room. I got so excited the door opened.
Psyching ourselves out here.
Before you give me too much grief, chat, you all know you've done it too. Not saying you did on that one, but everybody's done that once.
The decent amount of 9 has been explored by Vicnin. There aren't really that many open spots.
Yeah, the trouble with Zelda's room is all it takes is 2 rooms you haven't been in for one of them to be Zelda. Although you'd really like to have the compass to narrow this down considerably. We've also not seen the other 2 hint rooms out of 9.
And I've just noticed on Cyberchow, looks like Wallmasters have 0 hit points.
That'll happen sometimes. It's hard to notice when you've got the white sword.
Well, it's when you can kill them with the boomerang.
Yeah, that's the only way you would notice.
Right.
Hi, with rude robes. Rude robes. Tempting to say. I may have run out of water.
It's an accurate sentiment, to be sure, though.
Gonna use the other potion. Makes perfect sense. You're not worried about it for fighting Ganon.
Right.
That is a crowded tea. Cece's gonna find the wand.
Getting a bit of a bomb refill for Vicnin. Could definitely come in handy.
Cyberchow already got the Triforce out of 8, so that exploration netted him the wand, which is helpful. Still exploring for the second item, it looks like. And that Goma may cause him to back out of here. Level 8 is very Goma infested today.
That it
They
is.
call an
that
exterminator.
And then he decides to peace out of 8.
We know that's the right play. It looked like one of the Stalfos held the map, which 9 is in its vanilla shape, so the map doesn't do you a lot of good. The compass, however, would tell you right where Zelda is.
Not necessarily how to get there, though.
No. But narrow it down. Narrow the search down.
We've still got unexplored territory, if nothing else from these locked doors.
Generally, if you're trying to find her, I do like the idea of going wherever you have the most unexplored room, because that's probably going to be right. It looks like he hasn't been left of here. Stalfos rode a little bit high on their HP today, by the way. And there's the compass! Oh, she's right by start!
Oh, wow!
She is by start!
Yeah. Can you get through it through bombing next door, or are we looking at a magical staircase situation?
Couldn't have bombed that room.
Because I don't think you can bomb into Zelda's room.
No, because then Ganon wouldn't be required.
Right. So if you can bomb down, we're good. And yep, we're good.
Yeah, as soon as you're adjacent, you're going to be alright. And that is GG for Vicnin. Official SRL time, 1 hour, 25 minutes, 25 seconds. Vicnin is our winner today. For CC, one more Triforce needed. We know the bow is in 9.
Would we say that the ladder was required to get through all that?
It was helpful. I just couldn't say necessarily that it was required. Chat, Vicnin is going to be joining us in chat. One of our French runners, so not comfortable joining us for a voice interview. But by all means, give Vicnin your GGs. And I think that... Oh, CC is still going to look for now. Maybe wondering if that bait block is required. Oh, okay. It was more in the background. Vicnin, if you can hear me now, then how about that dive to 9 where it netted you all the keys? I'm sorry, dive into level 5 that netted you the keys for 9. CC continuing to look through this 6.
Unfortunately, we know he's not going to find what he needs here. He's probably just gonna grab the Triforce piece and go.
Four-headed Gleeacs aren't exactly the most fun thing to get around. Even with Red Ring, if you don't have a lot of hearts, they can be annoying. That's enough for CC to go to 9. Will he without the ladder?
And I don't think he ever saw the hint about the magical sword, so unless he just flukes upon that, he probably won't be trying to hunt that down. You know, Cyberchild has seen where 9 is.
Vicnin saying in chat that they were so happy for a key in level 5. Ended up netting 3 out of that, I think. Which, considering they went into level 5 with 0 keys, was quite the bonus. CC up in A's. I think it would have been... I think it was within walking distance of 9. Reasonable walking distance, that is. What is the play now?
I think he's gonna be grinding for money. Or not.
Well, if he was gonna go for money, then I would assume he's looking for hints.
I think we've only seen one hint shop so far.
Chat asking Victor another good question. All the time spent early on in level 7. He's gonna get the heart refill. Let's give a shout out to Pan who not only has been a great participant in the chat today, but is translating the questions into French. We appreciate you, Pan.
Child's buying a potion and might be just making a beeline for 9.
If you'd like to see more of the Z1R tournament as CC goes into 9, 8 o'clock tonight, we've got Javeth versus New York Rambler. 9 o'clock, we've got Taco versus J-Lo. 10 o'clock, we've got Adirondack Rick versus Antlers. We've also got 10:30, Norestra versus Alan Heffley. And Saber versus Zardia is tomorrow night. So a lot of action still today. Right. So this is the right play to find the wood, to find the bow. CC has the silvers. And I know you can get to Zelda without the ladder. The question is, can you get to Ganon without?
Or the bow, for that matter. If we know, though, the bow was in the northeast corner.
There's not a hint for the bow. You just have to find it by exploring staircases. You know, this is a case where we have imperfect information because of CC's sprite. I don't know if he still has his magic shield or not.
I want to say he does.
I can't think of a time where I saw him lose it.
Right, yeah.
It was a fun little recap item from this race that CC actually ended up finding the white sword first, which let him get the blue candle from the wood sword cave. Sometimes the game just does that. I am not an expert on the brackets, but this would be the third win for Vicnin.
I think both of these runners are 1-1 going in.
Okay, I could have misread things easily. That happens with me. I'll check the standings now. Vicnin had 2 points with 1 win versus the same record. Had the win against Sausage Link. And I'm sorry, yes, it was Chatty who came up victorious in the previous. So this is 2-1. Magic key now for CCX.
Very nice. He's in the right quadrant for finding the bow, and now it's just a matter of actually finding it.
It's a good place for Vicnin to be in, though. 1 more win, I think, is good enough to make the brackets. The faster you get your wins in, the happier you're going to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. Less pressure for the later round.
And here's something else I'd love to know Vicnin's reaction to. How about that troll mugger that took our bomb only for the Triforce and 2 to be ladder blocked?
Oh yeah, that was very painful.
That was a thing. Alright, CC continues to explore 9.
I think he's close to where Zelda is. He just has to bomb down from here to get to where Zelda is.
Yeah, if he bombed south, he would find Zelda's door. But there's not necessarily a reason to bomb south there right now.
Right.
Especially with a key door. Redbird asks where the bow was. It was here in 9. Vicnin says that troll mugger was very rude. At this point, CC has seen the hint for Ganon. Not found Ganon yet. Actually, I think he's somewhat near the compass. And to address chat, yes, we never saw the second item in 8. It was probably blocked by that Goma. It continues for CC. You need to check every staircase when you're missing an item. Boy, level 8 was a troll for us today. It had the wand, which is nice, but to be blocked off from an item feels really bad. CC seems to just be looking for staircases right now.
And I noticed that at some point, Cyberchild stopped their timer.
Not sure. Maybe it was a split misfire. That would have been around the time you got the red ring. If you have your timer split mapped to the controller, maybe a button got pushed accidentally.
Perhaps.
We're at about 138 if you're curious. I keep my own unofficial timer on the race just because it helps me keep little timestamps of when things happen. Dig of 9 continues for CC. Okay, so he'd already been in this room, is why he didn't want to go through the key lock.
I know you can bomb down from here. Don't remember if it led anywhere significant.
Well, if you're CC, you're just looking at a blank map where you know there's a lot of dungeon to the south of you. So it makes sense as a bomb location. I still apply Shape's logic even when we're in vanilla. It's like if I know there's level there, then it may be worth investing a bomb.
Of course, if you know where both of these transport staircases go, it's just a matter of which one would I rather take right now.
Kill the gels off to get to the south here. I think this is the right path actually to get you to the compass. And again, this is where it shows CC does not have the ladder. It's still navigating this 9. Has not been blocked per se yet. Or Wizrob's in the way. So again, we'll say GG to Vicnin. Congratulations on the win. Advances to 2-1 in the Swiss. And put on a great show for us today.
Yep, GG.
Also, thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us this afternoon. Cyclone got us set up. Wolflink has done a fantastic job as our tracker today. I'm Trenton, joined by Melee Wizard.
And there's a clue that we didn't see on Vicnin's side. Stalfos guard the compass. Was that maybe? Was it in the that circle moat room? So there was Stalfos there, and
I don't think it was that room. I think that there was a fiver in one of those Stalfos, and that would have been the room item. CC heard Ganon's roar, so he's trying to figure out if that was it. No, I'm wrong. None of them were guarding a fiver. Oh, this is gonna be unfortunate if this was the compass room. It was.
Yeah, yep.
So the compass is ladder blocked. And Cece's probably thinking something along the lines of, oh, come on.
No, Zelda's not. Zelda herself isn't, but Cyberchow doesn't know that.
And at this point, he is quasi-gambling on it being the bow and 9. Because if it's the ladder, you'd have to leave. Unless you're figuring ladder required to get the... You do know it can't be the Goma. Hey, that's where the fiver was. I wasn't totally off in my thinking. I had a basis for it. For Josh, trying to finish this one out. The very crowded tea room.
Surprised they didn't take the that locked door where the Patra was, because they hadn't been through there yet.
Might be looking at his tracker, trying to see where he's been, where he hasn't. He now knows where the compass is, he knows where Ganon is. Still trying to find this bow, which we do know is in 9. I'm taking a look at his tracker, and he did not mark down all of the items that he found. Which means he also didn't mark down ones maybe that he passed on. Gotta find a way towards that path for the bow. He knows where Ganon's room is, did not find a path to Ganon. But it's not as important when you don't have the ability to kill Ganon yet. Patra and doesn't want to deal with that just yet. What is the next play? Couple of bops from Patra. CC's continuing on. I'm commentating from the wrong screen. My apologies for that.
I was about to say, is like, are we seeing this? Did things freeze on the high end or something?
No, I went over to his channel to look at his tracker to see what he has and maybe get some insight to what he's thinking. But he continues on. The exploration of this 9 continues. It is not the most fun dungeon to be lost in. And who says we need shapes for dungeons to be confusing?
Yeah, it's when the vanilla shapes can do just as good a job on their own.
Well, there's the map room.
And there's the path to Ganon.
That's valuable information, but not necessarily what you're looking for.
Somehow it had only just now occurred to me that, like, we know the quadrant that the bow in, Cyber Chow does not.
Right, there's no hints as to the location of the bow. There could be one for the silvers if it were in 9. Otherwise, would just tell you the silvers lie elsewhere. Which CC already knows, having them in hand. Definitely explored over half of 9 at this point. I think that's more like 2/3. This can be very hard to find one specific room in 9. If you're just looking for an area, like you are to pick up Ganon's Roar, that's a little easier to do than, say, finding which room leads to Zelda or which room has your item staircase. Basically, CC just needs to look back at the map, see where haven't I been, and head in that direction as much as you can.
I think most of where he hasn't been is in the northeast.
At this point, that's true. You may also think, I really don't want to leave a couple of squares behind over here, so if I can get those 2 in the middle, let me do it now. And he's not been to that one to the right. Below him, that's the path to Ganon. So maybe dip one right. No? Or has he already been in that room? It's just not showing. There's one of those 2 rooms he hasn't been in.
Well, one of them's not going to show up because of the eyes.
Yeah. But that means there's one you haven't been in.
that room is ladder blocked.
Okay, that may have been the issue then. CZ didn't get to that room. He wanted to check it, getting that it was ladder blocked. CC's back at the start of the dungeon. Here we go again. With that, I think he can pretty well rule out the west side of the map for the bow. I mean, if you have to bomb through Ganon's room to get to the bow,
That
that's
would be
just crazy.
Would that even? Is that even possible?
As long as you could get to it, and Ganon wouldn't prevent you from a bomb wall.
It would just seem really weird. It's like, hey, hello, Ganon, just passing through.
I mean, I think we've seen that for silvers before, where you had to bomb through Ganon's room to get to the silvers. So as long as the important item is in 9, I think it's possible, just not necessarily likely. But if I'm navigating that 9, I'm like, well, if that's it, I'm finding it out about a dead last. What I would like to have seen there is just pop that door open before you go down the staircase, so that it'll show in your map that there was a path up here. Here we go.
But there
This
it is.
in the northeast, the very northeast.
Yep, one room away. Just needs to go left.
See, it's the reverse C. Put the wand in there. Good time for it.
Trying to get some long range shots in so as soon as they die, you can just push the block right immediately. And you can imagine the sigh of relief from Cyber Chow seeing that the bow is actually here.
Yeah, he had to know it was likely to be a 9 at this point. And he knows the path to Ganon.
Yep. Now, since he's already here, might as well see if Zelda is in that neck of the woods as well.
Well, he knew it couldn't have been to the south, but he didn't know about the east. So I think there were 2 ways to the bow. So this was not a ladder required seed, by the way. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that.
And question from Wolflink, our tracker. I don't think it'll probably take that long. He's already explored a lot of 9, and what little's left could be you can get through bomb walls.
Yeah, so if it's not south of Ganon, then there's only the easternmost column to explore, and the area where we know that Zelda is. Yeah, that's the path to Ganon.
Yep.
But does he explore to the south here to see if Zelda's there? Or possibly the other hint room? We've only seen one of the 3. We've seen the one that says where Ganon is.
We've also saw the hint for the compass.
Compass. Okay. So there's one more old man room remaining.
It's also possible the thought of he's got 2 potions. He's thinking, do I use one of them now?
I think you do before you go in there. Hyrule Driver would be iffy.
You can survive 1, right? That does 4 hearts of damage normally, right? There it is.
Well, it also relies on your reaction time.
I see that I switched over to the potion at some point, so.
So, by the way, since CC is using one of the enemy sprites, he's fighting Zelda. He has a Stalfos in this seed, so has to fight Zelda to rescue Ganon and restore chaos to the world of Hyrule.
Yep, which is true if you ever use any of the enemy sprites. Stalfos, Goriah, Wizrobe, etc.
And Ganon goes down. 155 for CC to get that Ganon kill.
And so phase 2 is complete now for phase 3.
Yeah, and again, he's only got the 2 areas that Zelda can possibly be in. She can be on the eastern column, or right in that area where we know that she is.
Cyberchow also has 0 bombs. But we're in a room where he could get more.
Remember when I said I'd leave bombs on the floor if it was full? This is why I leave bombs on the floor.
Yeah, I think it was this very room, too.
Might not have killed it yet. If you came from the east, you'd have no reason to necessarily get in a fight with a bunch of Wizrobes if you could just walk by them.
Oh, there's the bomb drop. Oh,
And
okay. I guess it was a different red Wizrobe room with the bomb drop at the end.
No, I think it was just that it was Vicnin who went there first.
Ah, fair
Those
enough.
full bombs, and I said I wouldn't pick those up.
Cyberchow's close. Really?
Figuring out what
Trying to
level
bomb
is
down there?
the path
Yes!
south. Guess is right. There's the
See?
door.
Sees the door open, opens the other locked door for good measure.
Well, gotta be sure.
Yep. And
Go
Cyberchow
ahead.
X has finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 44 seconds. GG.
GG. CC fought hard to finish that one out. He was successful. And we'll move on in the Swiss round. Didn't get to have his race in the last round, so was able to get one in this time. And in CC's case, had to rescue Ganon so that Chaos could return to Hyrule.
And everything is as it should be.
And that way we're all set for the next round. Should be able to get some words from CC very shortly here. But sometimes it takes a little bit for the setup to click in there. There we have you now, CC.
Hello.
GG, you finished it out.
Yeah, it didn't that bad. I think it was just my usual being bad at combat getting to me. I mean, I know my limitations. But that room in 7 was kind of nasty. I'm glad that it did end up getting me the red ring. And trying to remember what else really trolled me.
Probably that one room in
Well, 8
3.
itself was a troll. Level 8 on the whole.
Oh yeah, 8.
So, how about the start to this one, though? How often do you see the white sword before you get the wood sword?
Yeah, I've seen it happen before. It's kind of nice, especially when you also find it before your first take any, because then you know you can just take the hearts, because eventually you'll probably come across the wood sword cave and you can take a candle, which is exactly what I did, although I'm not sure. I think I might have come across the Wood Sword Cave before my
You
first
had
take
actually
any.
died on the screen. You had died on the screen that was the wood sword.
That doesn't surprise me. I don't remember exactly. I don't have the Wood Sword Cave marked down.
To the right of level 5.
To the
Vanilla
right
5.
of level 5.
Vanilla 5.
Right.
So-
Oh, okay. Right, just to the left of where 6 was in this seed.
Yes.
So early on,
Did Vicnin find the ladder? Because I never found the ladder.
You remember that one Wizrobe room in 3 that you were having issues with?
I think so. It was
Yeah,
the
that's-
item room, and that was the ladder.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I had figured that that was probably the item room, but I just did not want any part of it.
Thankfully, it wasn't required.
You know, if the bow wasn't in 9, I might have actually gone back to that, because by then I had I had the red ring. Well, of course I had the white sword. I'd had that from the beginning. I had the any key, because I know there were also some rooms behind in 3, because I didn't want to spend the keys. But yeah, I mean, my tracker, I don't think I marked down all of the items, but I probably would have remembered that there were still things missing in 3.
CC, one thing that worked out very interesting for you was the plays in level 4. You went in there with no sword, got the Triforce, but you remembered to go back, and that netted you the silver arrows.
Yes, yeah, I have that. That's one of the items I marked down. Yeah, I remembered. Went in, noticed the staircase, knew that since this isn't shapes, that had to be the item. Decided to go one room further, found the free Triforce, and was like, okay, I can just grab the Triforce and come back as soon as I get a sword to claim the item. And when I saw that was the silvers, I was like, I don't know if this is a very good thing or a very bad thing, because it seems like a very easy seed for routing. Means that it could come down to combat, which is my weakness. So I was like, this
CC,
could be like very
any
easy.
other thoughts on this one?
I'm just looking things over. It seemed like it was pretty straightforward. I really need to get better at like actually marking off what is where on my tracker, but I don't really like do a significant tracking of dungeons other than 9, unless I'm getting really trolled. I think in like one race.
I think we're going to have to go ahead and wrap
I
this
think
up. So
it was
thank you both of our runners who
my
gave such a good show
first
today.
race last
Thank you, Speed
year,
Gaming,
right?
for hosting us this afternoon. And
actually
thank you to our
track-
tracker
it was
Wolflink, who
hard.
did a
Yeah,
terrific
see,
job.
that
Melee,
was
take us home.
I had Discord minimized,
Okay,
and
Melee.
it kind of cuts
Step
out
away.
on me.
Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Have a nice day.